everyone. Oh my gosh, so excited. Today, okay, hi, Allegra Jackson, the marketing medulla, founder of W.I.N Community. Just want to start by introductions. And today I have a special guest on our live stream. We are doing, of course, the Garden of Growth speakers at the garden party. We are having three amazing speakers who are also going to be doing a little bit of extra demos for us, as I'm finding out, because they are so skilled in helping us learn how to go from seed to success, not just with your ideas, your thoughts, your lifestyle, your healing, but also with your actual food. And I'm excited because I have Nikki Tate today, who is one of our newer W.I.N members. I think from the conference. This is the first time we actually connected last year. And then moving into the space where I've seen Nikki and her brand in so many different ways, and I'm just really excited to have you as a part of this new, area of our community where we're learning more how to be a part of wellness, right, as women in business. So introduce yourself to the community. Let us know who you are, and then let's get into it.
So my name is Nikki Tate. I am the owner and founder of the Poison Bar, which is a non-alcoholic / adaptogen bar. And adaptogens are just different roots, herbs, and plants that bring the body back into homeostasis or balance. And so my targeted audience are people that are practicing sobriety, who are sober curious, or who are really into wellness and want a different alternative than alcohol. So overall, I am a sober life strategist. I teach people how to have fun and fulfilled lives without alcohol.
I need to ask this because you gave us a very streamlined pitch about what you do, and it's amazing because it encompasses so much of what I know is so deeply rooted in you. So I'm going to ask some questions because y'all heard what Nikki does, non-alcoholic wine. So just keep that in mind, okay? Because I've tasted it. I'm actually, and just to, for all of you who are wine drinkers like myself, I have been drinking wine since I first became a bartender in 2007. I'm not going to give it away too much. And I was a bartender before that, just hint, hint. But there are some things that I was able to find in wine, relaxation and just being able to chill and sip and talk to friends. But then when I met Nikki, it was like, you have a non-alcoholic wine? Like, what is that like? So I want you guys to really tune into this because the wine is delicious, number one. And I was very shocked at how relaxed and how still I was. One little bottle. So let's get into it. Why did you decide that this was the route for you to open up the Poison Bar?
Number one, alcoholism runs in my family. I lost my dad in 2021 due to alcohol-related causes. He died of cirrhosis of the liver. I did not stop drinking then. I still continued 2 years after that. But 2 years after, I was taking a class, and, it had been nagging me in the back of my mind that I needed to slow down on my drinking, that this could turn into something major, just like it did for my dad. And if my dad can be such a mentally strong person and it can overtake him, it can overtake anybody. So I was taking this class and they asked for us to give up something. And, I've taken plenty of classes. They ask you to give up something. You're like, okay. But I was so convicted in my spirit, like, it's time. Like, Nikki, you don't have to say you're quitting today. All you have to do is say you're going a year without drinking. Just 1 year. You fasted before, you went without things before. It's just 1 year of commitment to see how your life is going to change, because any and everything that has happened bad to me, it has been a result of alcohol. And so as a result of that year of sobriety and me trying to figure out other ways to still enjoy myself sociably and be around my friends and things who still drink, I created these drinks to help aid me through that process. And in the very beginning, before I even created the drinks, I would always take this tincture, valerian and passion flower, and they would really calm myself down and help me to have a restful sleep. And so those are two of the ingredients that are in the wine. And it was just a way of just being apart, calming myself down, and not having that continuous craving to drink, because I love to drink. I love my wine. So that is the reason why the Poison Bar came about. It was my way of sharing what I've learned and sharing the things that I've created to help me through my sobriety journey to help other people.
That's a beautiful story. I love that because you create, like we talk about this in a lot of our businesses when we say, why did you start the business? And a lot of times it's because we create a solution for ourselves, right? It worked, and being able to do that for ourselves, it helps us want to expand that support for other people. And I love it because you said something that came up for me, which I don't think about because I mean, I never really thought about how my friends are impacted when they don't drink, or if someone's around me and they don't drink, and being able to know that there is an actual wine that you don't have to necessarily participate in the uh in the high of it all, but you still get that relaxed feeling. Can you tell me what these ingredients really are? Because you said it to me when I first met you, and I was honestly like, when she sets up her poison bar, y'all, it is so pretty. Like, she has all like the rose. Is it roses around it? Because it's always red.
Mm-hmm.
So
Roses, the greenery, yes.
your brand, it's just so fitting. Of like, when you think about poison ivy and it's like the woman, but you think about like the plants around her and how she's draped, and that look. And when you think about the poison, when I think about the poison bar, I don't know why, when I think about how you set it up, it just fits for me.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it fits. And so I want to know more about that, because your history with alcoholism has changed your life to make sure that you can create a solution for other people. And then on top of that, I want to hear what kind of challenges came with that, because we love talking about the good stuff, right?
Yes.
But let's think about some of the challenges that may have come with that. You said you made a decision, which we said before was one of the biggest pivotal moments in our life, when we make the decision. But what did you experience after you started taking the journey?
Um, I definitely had cravings for sure. I didn't tell anybody except like maybe the people at work. I told them. I didn't tell any of my friends. I didn't tell anybody. I was trying to get through my first 3 months, because the first 3 months are the hardest. And even when I would be on the phone with my therapist, I'd be like, I can drink right now. And it was definitely a decision. I think when it comes to me, when I make up my mind about something, whether it be fasting or whatever that is, when I'm feeling convicted about it, I'm going to see it through no matter how hard the challenge is. Um, so I was committed to it. I came up with a plan of, I'm going to be working more. I'm going to take these herbs at night so that I'm not up thinking about it. And then I'm going to create a mission out of this so that, I can inspire other people. So I think all of those things help me to stay motivated. Now, were there times I'm like, what? I need a drink today. And there were times that I absolutely felt that way. And during those times, I would go and I would get my ashwagandha. Ashwagandha is what they call a horse. Like
That's
it's
what
such
it's
a strong.
called.
Yes. So I need to snatch my emotions right back, and I would take that. I would remind myself of the reason why I'm doing this. This is so much bigger than me. This is a legacy that I'm leaving for, my children to see me differently, in honor of my dad, to, even though he died of this is something that I can transform and take and create a legacy where other people can be informed. And so for me, it was way bigger than me. It was way bigger than my cravings. I also, there's a thing where um I have a mentor, and she says, if you don't like your life, her name has got to be Oshun on YouTube. And she said, if you don't like your life, throw that shit away. And personally, I did not like my life. I felt like I was getting up every day and it was Groundhog Day. And I'm like, I am done with this. I'm done with making bad decisions because I want to drink. I'm done with hanging out with these people. I am done. And so I think the need and the want and the craving for just a different life outweighed my craving for alcohol. So that is the reason why I was able to commit and stick to it.
Well, that's powerful. I'm blown away by your story always, because it comes from such a deep place, right? Because you had to experience someone in your family or people in your family that you lost in order to get to a place to say, okay, this could also be me. And but now you get to really impact other people's lives through that and your challenges. And I love how you talked about the resilience of it, because your why was bigger. like your why was bigger than the craving itself. So, and then I like your coach. Send me her information because I like her. What she said. Throw it away. Throw it in the trash. I'm also curious about how you feel about therapy because you mentioned it earlier when you were just saying, I will tell my therapist I want to drink today. How big of a role did that play for you in your healing process?
I think it was a major role. I had been in therapy before I made that commitment, but I think my therapist, she just gets me. She understands me. She's not one of the therapists that just says, you know, how do you feel about that? She actually gives me feedback. She allows me to make my own decisions, but she leads me down the road. Um, and makes me really question, and we role play so that I can see, like, well, does this feel good, or what would I say? Or, you know, she made me also realize that me drinking was me trying to do escapism versus confronting my problems head on. And what does confronting your problems head on look like? And we would actually role play it so that I could get it out. Or if I had an issue that was coming up, because I do not like confrontation. So it was really helpful, because when I'm getting stressed, dealing with all these different things I have to deal with, I have someone that I can speak with. We can talk it out, we can act it out, and I leave feeling like my mind or my brain has a different perception of the whole scenario. So I think it really, like, extremely helped me get through this year, that first year of sobriety. And I mean, it just helps me in general. I mean, I still do therapy to this day.
I was asked that because I'm wondering if it's just, we have a lot of people that are a little scared to get therapy because of different things that they've heard or experienced. And I, I really feel like it's part of the overall wellness, part of our health in general, right? Like we get our bodies checked, get your mind checked. But I loved how you were already in therapy when you made the decision, which means that you weren't waiting, you know,
Mm-hmm.
to for somebody to save you, but you were just doing the work. So that just, man, it's so powerful. So I want to talk a little bit more about the poison bar, and also let's go into your expertise, because when I asked you to come, shout out to LaShawna West, our corporate sponsor, because she's
Yeah.
always making the connections, always. And I love it because that's what community is about. And when we have our corporate sponsors, and also Mrs. Ernie's coming, she just signed up 10 women to come to our next meetup, right? So we just had 10 people sign up today to see you speak, Nikki.
Oh, wow.
So shout out to our corporate sponsors for hooking it up. I just want to know, like, you know, you have so much in you outside of just the experiences you're telling us about with making non-alcoholic wines. I want to dig more into that because people don't understand how agriculture works. They don't understand how to eat healthy, what they need to eat. They don't understand how to grow their food from seed to sell, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when I had a idea for this event, I said to Nikki, and well, Lashana hooked us up, right? And so I'm like, yeah, I would love to have you come and bring the non-alcoholic wines and have, everyone taste it and buy the wines if they like it, right? It's a great opportunity to talk about all natural, organic. Nikki's like, oh yeah, yeah, and I can also teach you guys how to do doom 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 doom. I want you to tell us how you laid me out on the floor with your background. Tell them a little bit about your background and what you have taught people over time when it comes to gardening and, whatever it is in farming.
So, my farming probably started around 29. Let me not tell my age. Let me just say about, let me just say,
It's all right, sis.
some years back, I was very much into health and wellness and spirituality and my mental. And after learning so much about food and what it does to us, and understanding where food comes from, and how people that control our food control our minds, I started becoming very interested in agriculture. And so while I was in college one day, this organization came and they set up their table. It was Truly Living Well, and they were an urban farm in Atlanta. And I'm like, they came for Earth Day, and I'm like, I need to get a job there. And so I applied. The first 2 years I did not get the job, but the third year I did get the job. And I went in as a camp counselor. I didn't know anything about farming at the time, but I did have a background in camp counseling. I think that's why I got the job. but I was just as eager and learning just right along with the kids and helping them with their activities. And so from there, it went on to me being a community liaison and me speaking about garden education and teaching children at the YMCA and teaching people, the elders at the library, and going to senior citizen homes and having to speak at Georgia Organics, and the list goes on. And then I moved to Mississippi and I taught garden education at Brown Elementary. And I also did a side job at Operation Shoestring during the summertime and taught STEM garden education. And so, and then I came back and I worked back at Truly Living Well again. I was the camp director. I mean, I've done so much programming around garden education and giving people tours around the importance of agriculture and letting them understand the value of it. And I think that's what really has aided me in even creating the drinks that I have created for the Poison Bar, because of my background in agriculture and understanding how important herbs are and the plants are and how sacred they are and how much medicine is within them. So I think that is where my background just stems from overall.
That's not, listen, that blew me away. I was laid out like as she was speaking. You know how you hear someone speaking, you're like, yeah, I know that girl, I know what she do. And then you hear a whole nother part of their life that they had before you found out, like before you met them, found out what they did today. And that's kind of what I was, leaning towards, because the garden party, for everyone who's going to be there, I'm excited because first of all, we're going to be cute. Okay, because the place is cute. And second of all, we're going to be able to learn so much, not just about growing our ideas and really being successful in those areas of our wellness, but also physically learning about, like, what does this stuff matter? Like, what does it mean when I need to, grow certain vegetables and fruits? And how do I do that? Like, where does it start? Where can I get the information? How do I maintain that type of lifestyle? And I think it does come with, first of all, getting the knowledge. So that's why I love that, Nikki, you're bringing this, because I'm bringing tools. So I told Nikki, we're going to be talking about all the tools I need to have for y'all, because I want my hands in dirt while you're talking. Like, I want to be able to say, Nikki is talking about, and one thing you brought up, which I thought was so interesting, is you said, not only can I teach you how to, be frugal in your spending when it comes down to your farming and your gardening, by using certain types of, you were like, newspaper. And I was like, wait, what? Like, I'm like,
Yes.
okay. And then you're like, reading on the back of your seed packet, like, you may buy the seeds and not even look to see what you need to be looking for. Those are things that, for me, walking into a space where I want to learn these things and I want to be connected with the right people to help me, girl, I was like, you will be a lifesaver. So tell us some of the things that we need to know right now about how to start when it comes from planting a seed, because you're going to be telling us all the good stuff there. You're going to be showing us your, look, I wrote it down, ashwagandha. Like, listen, I love that ingredient because the wine has all the herbs in it. So you're generally drinking the herbs that are being planted out of the ground.
Mhm.
And then we get to experience that there while we, just ask our questions and, learn things. Like, for one of my questions, girl, I'm like, how do I take the food that I'm eating right now and not waste it so I can make my own garden? Because I'm lazy. And there are things that I'm doing that is actually going against what I want to do when it comes to starting my own garden. So that takes discipline. It takes being in the right spaces. So I have a bunch of things I'm going to be bringing to the garden party for Nikki, but I want you guys to do the same. So I want you also, Nikki, to tell us a little bit about, what you're going to be sharing at the garden party. Have you already put together, like, the way that you're going to share your topic, or are you still planning on that? I don't want to spoil it for nobody.
I think I'm still planning on it. However, what is very much important to me is talking about biodynamics, sacred agriculture, holocultural therapy, because all in all, people need to understand that this is something that's very sacred. It's something that's very spiritual. And Rudolf Steiner is one that coined biodynamics. He talked about how we're all an ecosystem. So, from the earth, Mother Earth, to the livestock, to the plants, to the farmer that's actually tending to the land, how we're all, one essentially, and how he even used the solar system and the cosmos and the lunar to plant. So typically, even when I worked on the farm, we planted during the new moon. And if anybody knows what the new moon is, it's when the moon is not seen. It is in darkness. And so everything is grown out of the darkness. As they say, the nothingness, everything comes from darkness. And so that's when you typically plant your seeds. And so just understanding that we are all one. And just like how they say, if you hang around 5 millionaires, you'll be a millionaire. If you hang around 5 broke people, you'll be a broke person, because we're all sharing these microbes, and we're even sharing those with the earth. All those microbes that are in the earth, that's why they're saying that grounding is good for you, putting your hands into the soil. They call that soil, the things that the soil, the microbes that the soil gives off is a feel good microbe. I mean, it helps with your brain functioning, your immune system, all of those things. And we are sharing all of these things together, encompassing all of those. And so we should be treating the earth as we would be treating anybody, because we're all one. And even if you grab one handful of soil, there is a billion to a trillion or different organisms just in your hand alone. Like, it's more of them than it is us. So we should all be working in compass of together, because we're all affected by everything that we do. But I really liked Rudolf Steiner's teachings, because it talked about us being one. It talked about us recycling. It talked about composting and having nitrogen and carbon and breaking that down. So like, even with the vegetables that you have, being able to compost that versus throwing it in the trash really saves the earth and really creates this black gold, is what we like to call it. Very rich, because you want rich soil in order for your plants that you're growing to be, nutrients and have validity. But also, I'm thinking about, for the workshop, to talk about the three sister method. And the three, have you heard of the three sister method? Okay. So I'm thinking about, let me see, do I have them? I know I brought them up here. I must have moved them. I was going to show you guys. Oh, so I've been saving some of these. And you can also use newspaper. You can also use these. You can actually cut this in half. Cutting it in half is enough. But I'm thinking about allowing them to do the three sister method, because it's an indigenous method. It's from the Native Americans, and it's about supporting, and it goes back to um, working in tandem with the earth. And so letting them plant beans, corn, and squash. Um, there are three different plants, and what happens is they call it the three sisters, because they all three do something different, but they work together as a whole. And because they're working together as a whole, they each provide something for each other. So I really want to do a workshop where they're able to plant those three sisters, and then they can take that home. And then I also would like for them to take a medicine bag home. And so medicine bags are just, it can be a variation of things, and people can, put their sacred tools in there. They can put affirmations in there. I like to carry medicine bags. Sometimes I carry herbs, like people carry crystals, because herbs also signify something spiritual. And so I would like for them to also go home with a medicine bag. What's going to go in there, I'm going to think about it. I have an idea, but I want to wait for it to be a surprise for them, so that they can go home with something that reminds them that the earth is sacred and that we should honor the earth.
Yeah, I'm just saying right now, like I feel so warm inside. Like I'm gonna be. That is so good. I've never heard of three sister method, but I'm excited. I'm really excited because we don't get to learn, and this is why I love the connections that we make in community, because there's so much noise right out there. And if I wouldn't have been connected to who I was connected to be connected to you, to be connected, it's like I would never know these things and be able to learn in such a focused way. Like what you're teaching is something that I and anyone can use for the rest of our lives. And
Yes.
I've never heard of this stuff. Like I'm like, what? Y'all know I be taking notes over here. I'll be like stealing the stuff. So and I love the medicine bag method. Like I love all of the creation and the thoughtfulness that goes into what you're doing. And you can tell you're so passionate about really being able to get us to understand that. I'm sold, sis. Like when it comes down to, I love how you even talked about the different ways. And this is what I feel like, if for those of you who will be at the meetup, And if y'all felt warm like me, because I felt a little warm inside, right? Like, just imagine that feeling by the fireplace, because there is like little tiny little fireplace there, so we ain't cheat y'all. And be able to actually have that fireside chat, or be able to have the one-on-ones, and just to really get that deep connection with that real knowledge. And everything starts out in the dark. You said that, and I'm starting to think now, like, I never really put these things together.
Mhm.
And then the food that we eat controls our mind. Girl, we talking about some deep stuff. So I'm gonna leave that alone for the meetup. And so now let's talk about some things that you are doing right now to change people's lives. Like, what do you want to share? Maybe an experience, from someone that you have worked with, or situations that you have witnessed outside of yourself, that you feel that your brand has attributed to.
Oh, wow. I think that I have absolutely made sobriety sexy, something that is intriguing. I think all of my friends, if they have not, they have drastically cut down their alcohol intake, number one. Number two, I realized that what it is that I do impacts everything. My children have done a complete 360. The children that I once had and the ones that I have now, it's like, where did they come from? I mean, they've just so loving and caring. And I'm like, wow, well, how was I when I was drinking? Like, it really made me go back and kind of reflect that. What were they needing from me that I was putting drinking beforehand? So I think that overall, my children have changed. I have, my friends have changed. I think that even just me posting on Facebook, I get so many messages on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok about what my videos are doing, how motivating they are, how they like to see where it is that I'm going, and it's encouraging to them. I also am providing space for people. I have a group on Facebook called Adapt and Evolve Now Community, where I develop that community for people that are, sober curious, that are going through their own journey. It's a non-judgmental zone, a space where they can talk about their struggles, talk about their um when they fall short, and how to get back up and what strategies to use. So I think all in all, just my brand as a whole, of me offering an alternative, explaining the reasons and the health benefits of the drink, me being an example, because that's the biggest thing, me being an example, because even when you think people aren't watching, they're watching. Yes. So me just being an example, me continuing to understand that this is bigger than me, and that to keep going and just staying motivated in that, I just think that I'm going to inspire many more people to come. And I'm excited about it. I'm excited about even walking people through their sobriety journey, because the one thing that I have noticed from going sober is my clarity and my love for myself. Like, there's like this different kind of love. It's kind of like high school when you first start thinking that you're cute and stuff. I feel that again. Like, I'm getting to know me again. I feel like beforehand I was drugged for the past 20 years. And I also have courses and I have classes. I did a class last month for Black History Month called The Dark Truths of African Americans and Addiction. And when you really understand the history of where it comes from and how alcoholism was used against us during slavery times and to control our minds, you that'll be even more motivation for you to either calm down or to stop. So, and this month, which I'm going to postpone it to next month. I'm hosting a class called "Is Alcohol Your Love Language or Your God?" Because so many times people are, meeting people or going out on dates, and alcohol is continuously involved. And are you really liking this person, or has alcohol, created this connection? And so I really want to explore and talk about that. So I do have courses and classes that are coming up. I have my group on Facebook. And overall, if somebody wants to talk to me, I do offer a buzz free briefing. That's so cute. I just have to laugh about it. Where it's a 15-minute free consultation, just to see what it is that I do, if they're interested in helping me, or interested in me helping them walk through their sobriety journey. And in the future, the very near future, I plan on having like a cohort of people that I walk through sobriety with, and I'm going to use the power of imagination to guide them through their sobriety journey.
Girl, you are on a roll. I am just like, I'm really blown away. First of all, by the catchphrases, because they are really getting me. Like, what? Buzz free? What is the first one you said? Sober curious, baby. Put it on a t-shirt. I love that for you. And I just think, just hearing your future, because that was going to be my next question. Like, what do you have for the future? And I love that you're already thinking about that. Like, what is going to be my next step? Have you like, and this is one thing, I don't know any brands that are, do you know any brands that are like your brand? Like, have you done the market research to see if there's something like you? Because I don't see anything out there like that.
I don't know if they're necessarily like me, but I do know that there are people that have non-alcoholic beverages. I do know that downtown Atlanta, they have a place called the Sober Social. I've
Hmm.
never been, but I know it's like a bar where they just serve non-alcoholic beverages, but I have not necessarily been there, but I have reached out to them. I've talked to the lady. Um, um, but I don't know what it's like. I don't know what else she offers in reference to sobriety. I don't know
We're
why
gonna have
she
to take a
created
trip
it.
down there. We're gonna have to both check it out.
Yes. Yes.
Because we need some ashwagandha in there. Um, you
Yes,
know,
we do.
like why not? And I think, because when I'm thinking, like, I'm asking the future, and I'm thinking to myself, you probably got investors just back there watching and waiting, because this is something that comes from such a deep rooted place, and it's something that I believe, like, hey, you talk about your friends and your family and how it's changed the dynamics of how people catch you. Like we said all the time, what I'm saying, it's not taught, it's caught. So you get
Hmm.
literally telling your children, telling your family, telling your friends one thing, but they see what they see. And
Yes.
so being able to be such a great example to them, I just want to applaud you, sis. Baby, you did that thing.
Thank you.
You did that thing. And I've always been impressed since day one, since I met you. So I'm just completely overhauled by the way that you have just, leveled up on your experiences, continue to grow. So now that we know, a little bit about what's in the future, we don't have to ask that. What do you have to offer people right now? You did talk a little bit about how you work with people and what you do. Are you have any workshops coming up or anything that's happening that people can join in with you right now before the garden party?
Before the garden party.
Because they're
Hmm.
going to see you at the garden party, so they're going to.
Yes. I just had an event actually, the Poison Picnic experience. I do want to have a sacred sip, but it will be after the garden party when I have
Okay.
it. So I don't have anything
So let's
necessarily.
talk about the sacred sip. Let's get them ready for that, because even if they come to the
Okay.
garden party, they can already have their early bird tickets ready and all that great stuff.
So my goal is to have the sacred sip the weekend after the garden party. I'm still working on the dates. But it's just going to be this sacred experience where people come and they make drinks. We're going to do some breath work at the beginning because I want everyone to connect with their intuition and their heart. I'm going to have different mocktail stations set up, one for the different elements. So it'd be like water, earth, air, fire. And based upon the different stations that they are, like fire would be more of ginger, something more fiery. What are you trying to work on? What are you trying to manifest? And letting them create their mocktails and with great intention. And then after that, of course, I love medicine bags. So just expect a medicine bag at the very end of them being able to take home a mocktail as well as take something home that is intuitive to what it is that they're trying to manifest. And so that'll be a sacred sip.
I love it. I love that. Y'all make sure you get ready for that. And I'm sure we'll have more information for y'all down the line, because we're going to be sharing this live stream over and over again until the meetup. We want you guys to get to know about our speakers. Nikki is speaker number 2 we have on the line, and she already said what she's going to be bringing. And of course, I love the fact that you shared your story, because we always look at the woman behind the brand. Like, we have so many great businesses and brands out there, but what makes the brand so special is the woman who built it. And so I love that you took your pain, turned that thing into profit. I love
Yes.
how you're constantly showing up for people who need you today. And I just look forward to continuing to support you. And thank you so much for just joining us for this garden party. I was just, like I said, God is on the throne, y'all, because there's no way I could do this. Like, it's just like the connections are just happening the way that they need to. And so be in the right places, in the right spaces, and the right community, and you will get there too. Nikki, is there anything that you would like to leave us with before we get out of here? Any words of encouragement or anything you'd like to say to our audience?
Yes. Number one, I forgot to mention that my Instagram is the Poison Bar. So you guys follow me on there. I'll have plenty of updates on there. TikTok is the same. On YouTube, I'm lady.poison. But this is what I would like to leave you guys with as far as motivation is concerned. Growing up, my dad used to tell me this over and over again. And I used to be like, oh my God, if he says this quote one more time. But I have found this quote to be so near and dear to me and such a something that I lead with in life. And he would always say, you have to give up something to get something, Nikki. You have to give up something to get something, Nikki. And I absolutely understand that. Sometimes you have to release, even me releasing alcohol. If I never released alcohol, I would not be here today. I would not have grown as much as I have grown. So sometimes you have to give up something to make room for something new. So that would be my motivational message for to end with.
That was for somebody. Thank you so much, Nikki. I appreciate you. We will see you at the garden party. You guys make sure you connect with Nikki, follow her. We're going to go ahead and end the live stream, and make sure you join us tomorrow night for Lashana's live stream as well at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be replaying these live streams as well, so you're not going to miss out any opportunity. We will also drop the links underneath these live streams moving forward so that you can see how to continue to connect with our speakers and amazing WIN members. Bye, guys. Have an amazing day. Love y'all.